Good morning. This is Ken. Tesla is quietly entering its next phase, and most investors are still looking at the wrong signals. Today, I want to walk you through what's actually changing inside Tesla right now, not just headlines, but the deeper shifts that could impact Tesla's long-term trajectory. We're going to look at 4 key developments: the next evolution of FSD, the progress of Cybercab, a potential new compact SUV, and Tesla's expanding Supercharger business. Individually, these may seem like separate updates, but when you connect them, a very clear strategy begins to emerge. Let's get into it. Let's start with FSD. Elon Musk recently hinted that the next version of FSD could be the one we've been waiting for. Now, that's a strong statement, but what's important here is not the wording, it's what it implies. Up until now, FSD development has largely been in what I would call a refinement phase, improving edge cases, reducing errors, increasing consistency, in other words, polishing the system. But what we're hearing now suggests something different, a potential shift at the model level. This likely means a larger, more capable AI model, not just incremental improvements, but a step change in how the system thinks and makes decisions. If that's the case, this is not just another update. This is a transition point, but at the same time, we need to stay grounded. FSD has always been an area where expectations tend to run ahead of reality. Tesla has made incredible progress, no question, but timelines have often been longer than expected. So at this stage, I think it's important to frame this correctly. This is not confirmation of a breakthrough yet. It's a signal that Tesla is preparing for the next level of autonomy. And as investors, what we should be watching is not just announcements, but actual rollout speed, real-world performance, and adoption. Next, let's talk about Cybercab. There are now reports that around 60 Cybercab units have been spotted at Gigafactory Texas. This is a very important development because for a long time, Robotaxi has been more of a concept discussion, a future vision. But when you start seeing dozens of physical units, the conversation changes. This suggests Tesla is moving into a multi-vehicle testing phase, not just prototypes, but coordinated validation. And this is key because autonomy is not just about software. It's about how software performs across a fleet in real-world conditions at scale. That said, we are still early. This is not mass production yet. This is not commercial deployment. What Tesla is likely doing right now is building up data, validating operations, and refining the system across multiple vehicles. So again, this is progress, real, tangible progress, but it's not the finish line. And I think the right way to look at this is not hype, but momentum. Tesla is moving forward, step by step. Now, let's move to the third topic, a potential compact SUV. There are reports that Tesla is developing a smaller, more affordable SUV positioned below the Model Y. This is interesting because historically, Tesla has focused on higher margin vehicles with a strong emphasis on software and future autonomy. But this move suggests something else, a shift toward volume. If you look at the current market environment, this makes sense. Competition is intensifying, especially from Chinese EV manufacturers. Price sensitivity is increasing and demand is evolving. In that context, expanding into a lower price segment is a logical move. But I don't think this is just about selling more cars. I think this is about feeding the ecosystem. More vehicles means more data, more users, more potential FSD adoption, and ultimately a larger base for future robotaxi networks. So this is not separate from autonomy, it actually supports it. Now, let's talk about superchargers. Tesla Supercharger network has long been one of Tesla's strongest advantages. But what's changing now is how Tesla is positioning it. They've introduced a tool that allows you to simulate the ROI of building a supercharger site. In other words, they are making the economics visible, and that's a big shift. Until now, superchargers were seen mainly as infrastructure, something Tesla builds to support its vehicles. But this move suggests something else. Superchargers are becoming a business, a scalable, potentially high-margin infrastructure business. And if you think about it, this has similarities to other successful platforms. Infrastructure that supports the core product, but also generates its own revenue stream. So now, let's connect all of this. FSD represents the intelligence layer, Cybercab represents the application of that intelligence, the compact SUV represents scale and user expansion, and superchargers represent the infrastructure layer. These are not separate stories. They are pieces of the same system. And this, in my view, is the most important takeaway. Tesla is not just improving individual products, it is building a full stack ecosystem simultaneously. And that's why looking at Tesla through a single lens, whether it's vehicle deliveries, margins, or short-term stock movements, can be misleading. Speaking of the stock, today we're seeing a slight rebound, with Tesla trading around $345. But again, short-term price movement is not the main story here. What matters is direction. And right now, Tesla's direction is becoming clearer. So to summarize today's key points, FSD is approaching a potential next phase. Cybercab is showing real physical progress. A compact SUV could signal a move toward greater scale, and superchargers are evolving into a business, not just infrastructure. Each of these matters on its own, but together they tell a much bigger story. A company that is expanding across AI, mobility, and infrastructure all at once. And as long-term investors, that's what we should be focused on, not just what Tesla is today, but what it is becoming, because that's where the real value is created. If you found this analysis helpful, feel free to subscribe. On this channel, I break down Tesla not just as news, but as a long-term strategy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home, I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.